Hello. Today we're just going to be talking about how to solve algebraic equations using mental math. So in the first video I did in the expressions and equations series, I just talked about what an algebraic expression meant, how to interpret it, how to kind of translate it from numbers and math language into like an English sentence. So we're looking at actually solving equations. Now, to solve an equation, you want to find out what the variable represents, what the value of the variable is, like what the variable equals. So we're just going to be looking at some really simple equations that can be solved simply by mental reasoning, just figuring out what number your variable has to be in order to make your equation true. So let's take a look. For some equations, the answer should be obvious. So an equation like the one you see right here, x plus 3 equals 5. X has to be a number that you can add to 3 to get 5. 2 is the only number that makes sense. So we would say here that x equals 2. So x equals 2. And if we wanted to check that out, we could rewrite our equation and substitute 2 for x and make sure it is still a true statement. So instead of x plus 3 equals 5, we'll write 2 plus 3 equals 5. And sure enough, that checks out. So that must be the right answer. So that's kind of all there is to work such as this. So we'll just try a few examples here. So, I've got several examples we'll walk through. X plus 6 equals 8. Again, 2 is the only value for x that really works. And if we wanted to check that, we would just substitute in 2. 2 plus 6 equals 8. And that's true. All right. 3 minus x equals 1. Again, the only value for x that makes any sense is 2. I promise you that 2 is not the answer to every one of these. If we wanted to check that, we would write 3 minus 2 equals 1. And yep, it sure does. Okay, moving on. So here we have 3x equals 12. This is multiplication again. Whenever you see a number and a variable really close, smashed together, that is multiplication. So the only value for x that will make this work is 4. If we wanted to check that, 3 times 4 does equal 12. That's a true statement. All right. 20 divided by x equals 4. The only value for x that would make that true is 5. All right. To check that, 20 divided by 5 does equal 4. Yes, it certainly does. All right. Over here, 4 plus x equals 9. The only value for x that will work here, again, is 5. If we wanted to check that, 4 plus 5 does equal 9. X minus 2 equals 8. All right, x has to be 10. It's the only number that you can subtract 2 from and get 8. We wanted to check that. 10 minus 2 equals 8. Yes. All right, 5x equals 25. Once again, that's multiplication. So x has to be 5 for the third time here. And yep, 5 times 5 does equal 25. Finally, x divided by 2 equals 10. X here has to be 20. It's the only number that you can divide by 2 to get 10. So to check that, 20 divided by 2 does equal 10. Okay, super simple stuff. It will get a little bit harder when you actually have to solve them using your steps, and we'll get into that in future lessons. Thanks a lot.